8B2, report regarding facility maintenance and operations projects. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. This is a monthly report from the Facilities Maintenance and Operation Department. Dr. Barrera will be walking us through this month's projects. So, Dr. Barrera, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Dr. Gonzalez and Board of Trustees. This evening, I bring this monthly report of the Facilities Maintenance and Operations. Mr. Trevino's couldn't be with us today, but he sends his regards. Go ahead and start us out with our first one here is our completed projects, but beginning with the tree trimming, the palm trees. Just to let you know, we concluded that project. We hired an outside firm to help us with the real tall trees. There are about 260 of them that have been trimmed up, and that's just the really tall ones. The rest of them, our staff was able to handle, as well as the trimming of the oak trees and other trees that we have on hand. Next, we have the carpet removal and tile installation. This is a completed project that we're proud to bring out. All of the floors that have been requested to have the carpet removed have been completed. This was a project that we were able to leverage dollars by buying the VTC tile, or the tile that you see there, by the trailer truckload, and then contracting the work out. So we're able to save a bundle of money right there. And this is a picture taken from the library at Memorial High School. Next, we have the Human Resource Office here. We've had modifications to a storage room, which was actually a file room, has now been converted into a really nice conference room for our staff there. The door opening there was in the frame was added, and some paint and a little bit of furniture. Next, we have the power washing projects, and this is, as you see here, the top picture, row of pictures are the before, and the below are the after. It's amazing what a little bit of power washing can do, the cleaning of the walls. This is Mac High. The next project will be over at Brown, and then we'll go over to Memorial and then Lamar, and then kind of finish up over at Rowe once the roofing project is complete. Next, we have Milam Elementary. This is a room division with the wall that was put into place there. The work is completed there. If you look real close, you can see Ms. McGurk walking in, checking out what's being done there. This is a real exciting project over at Rowe High School. This is the cafeteria upgrade. All of the color you see there is all new. All of the spirit is well alive there. There's lots of new furniture there. Project is about 95% complete. With a little bit of painting it remains to get that done over spring break. This is the new pavilion over at Milam. The old one had rusted out legs, so we tore it completely down, and then we tore out the base that it had. It had an asphalt base, and then we built it back up with concrete, and we're paying attention to how the water flows there so that it doesn't flood or anything else and carries water away from there. This project is not completely done yet. It still lacks the sidewalks that adjoin to it. There's got to be some basketball goals and some striping that goes along with that. This is a 60 by 100 structure, and it's coming right along.
Trustee Suarez.
Yes, sir.
If I may, I know a while back we had met with the PTO president, and they have a project that they'll be doing that's extending the pavilion out with pavers and benches. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make sure that they take into account when they work with you that because that's a lot higher now, mm-hmm. the way the water is going to flow in those pavers, we need to make sure and let them know how much higher that is than the asphalt, because if not, it's going to create some problems.
I know that we've been working with the PTO president as soon as we started the project to let them know that this was coming up, so we could kind of coordinate efforts, and we'll keep them in the loop when the time comes for those.
And there's a big difference of it's a lot higher now. I mean, mm-hmm. and with good reason, because before the asphalt would get flooded every time it would rain. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely going to avoid it, but that water has to go somewhere. And if they put those pavers next to them, they're going to be floating pavers pretty soon.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Dr. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
This next project here is portables. Here we have a couple of them that have been moved over to Mac High. I believe one came from Garza and one from Special Ed, and they've moved them over to Mac High and in behind in the area where the mariachis are. And they've been reworking them. You see this picture here, they're working on the roof, and they'll be kind of tying it all in and bringing it together. This next one, all important, asphalt pothole repair. This is phase number 2. We started in with the first one and been working, got a lot done. This is saw cut and mill 4,000 square feet, and these are the campuses listed that will be working. This will be a second batch of asphalt repair.
Is that parking lots, or is that streets, or what is it?
It's all encompassing. Wherever the bigger problems are is what we're hitting, and then they'll saw cut that out and replace it. So it's on streets, and we do have a paving project scheduled here we'll get to in just a bit.
Okay.
Doc, before you go any further, the
Yes, sir.
paving project, does that include Morris? Because going on Morris, I'm afraid to go on anything less than my Jeep. It's like riding on the surface of the moon there. Getting ready to ask Heriberto Reynosa to see if we can borrow one of the Mission to Mars vehicles to get into there.
This picture is not taken from there, but I do know that Morris and Mac High and one other campus that we'll get to in just a minute, I believe it's Milam, is scheduled for repaving this summer.
And when was the last time those were paved? Do you know offhand?
I know it's been quite a
It's never
long
been
time.
repaved.
Never
Only
been
been
repaved.
paved.
They've only
Only
been,
been paved.
There was a portion of Milam that was paved,
there was a portion of Milan that was paved?
very small portion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of it is, what you see is what was done when the original
Wow.
installed.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, on Mac High, does that include Bulldog Drive?
Bulldog, that's part of the paving project.
All right.
repaving
Is
this
that
summer.
take into account that there's some drainage issues there and ongoing, that it's going to be addressed and resolved?
We, for a long time, have been struggling with that flooding that goes on right across between the Curran Tech and the main building there. And that will be repaved and also revisited to see how we can route that water out the way it should go.
Because here, once again, if we're just simply repaving and that flooding is going to continue, we're not helping the students make it across there when it does, and we're just eroding and putting money into something that there really needs to be attention, Dr. Gonzalez, to deal with the grading there and the drainage.
And also take into consideration the handicap ramps that are there leading to Bulldog Drive.
Exactly. So, if that hasn't been taken into account, it would be a suggestion for administration to rethink that, to take all those issues into consideration.
Very well.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions or comments on this regard? All right, go on. If you would, Dr. Pereira.
Okay, very good. This next one, De Leon Middle School and James Nicky Rowe High School. This is the roof replacement. This picture here shows, this is Rowe High School. It's about 65% complete. It's a huge project, as you can tell there. Real happy to announce that De Leon roof project is now complete, and we're bringing that up for approval this evening. But this project has been ongoing for some time and is well on its way. The next one is Gonzales Elementary School roof and the Garza Elementary School roof. These are the kind of pictures that you see of the tops of them. These two roof projects are in the design stage right now and will soon be bid. We're anticipating a starting date of starting of the work to be done in around June and July.
Is it total roof replacement on those two campuses?
Yes, they are. This next one, this is some of the work orders that we have completed for the month of December. We had 811 out, completed 739. The pictures that you see here is a couple of, on the right-hand side is a portable building where they pulled up the carpet and replacing it with tile. This rooftop unit here that you see is over at Gonzales Elementary and has just been replaced. This was above the cafeteria area, and the cafeteria area got new HVAC units. Also, I can also add that we've got several other HVAC units that are in line to be replaced.
Yeah, I had inquired about this earlier. If you look at that unit, that's hail damage. And so I inquired, was this replaced, and you just said it was.
Yes,
And was
sir.
this part from the Hale settlement?
Yes,
The
sir.
payment to
Yeah.
replace this unit? Okay. Thank you.
And as we move to upcoming projects, we've got our district-wide portables exterior paints. That's whenever we move them or reposition them, we'll go ahead and paint them up again. We have the paving projects over at Milam, Bulldog Drive, and over at Morris Middle School. And those will be, we'll take into account, and we'll look into your question here about the drainage and make sure we address that. These rooftop RTUs are rooftop units, and those are the replacements over at Gonzales Elementary, Garza Elementary in Houston. And then we have our district-wide asphalt repair. That's that phase number 2. And then we're working on the HVAC system replacement system over for the gym at Mac High. And then rounding it out with baseball season coming very soon, the softball fields and baseball fields are all getting maintenance upgrades. That's power washing, paint, repair of fences. And then if you've drove around the high schools, you'll see the fences are going up, the security fences that we approved some time back. The work is being done. There's a good long fence line alongside Row, and we're moving right along with that project. So that pretty much concludes our report for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Barrera. Any questions, Dr.
Yes, sir.
Otto?
Just on the
Trustee
Mackay
Otto.
power washing, is that a one-time, or are we on cycles, or do we have a cycle now for all the schools?
We have established a cycle.
Awesome.
So I mentioned the first 4 there. They're not really the first 4, but that's the 4 that we're working on, and there'll be another group, and it's a continual job.
Great.
And we go some of them need it a little more than others.
Is it once every 2 years we're touching a school, or is it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure how often they hit those, but I know that we've set up a schedule, and we're moving them right through.
Okay, and my next question is, we didn't touch about it, but we discussed it in our committee a while back when we put the security doors into the elementary schools. I know it's a project we did a while back. I thought we at some schools they have the buzzer, some schools do not. And I thought we had authorized for all the schools to have a buzzer, because what happens sometimes is schools that don't, someone has to sit there, and she can't get up because she has to watch the door. You have to actually physically knock in case there's no one watching. So I was going to ask if for our next report, if you can ask Mr. Trevino to get a list of all the schools that don't have a buzzer, and then I'd like to put on the agenda, if I can, Mr. President, see what that cost would be, because I thought we had approved that, and if not, do we have the funds to do that? Because I think it is important to have that buzzers to communicate back and forth.
You bet. I will follow up and see which ones are.
Thank you, sir.
And then we'll come back to you next time.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
I have a
Trustee
comment.
Esparza.
Dr. Barrera, thank you for the report. I know this has come up in the past regarding the ag farm, and I know Ruben had mentioned they're doing some studies, talking to the engineers. Can you maybe add that to the list so that it doesn't fall off and we can get some reports as to where we're at? And I've got a call from the parent today, and so I checked with Ruben. He said, no, this is what we're doing. So just so we can kind of get a report to the board where we're at on that project.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea, because that we know we need to be, I think that needs to be incorporated as to where we are.
Okay.
If we want.
Sure will.
Good point. Any other comments or questions from the board? Thank you again.